What if I told you that there's real help to be had in learning how to talk to God, how to pray, in that book of the Bible that you've probably profoundly ignored? 1 Chronicles. Prayer is a consistent thread of thought that runs through the course of 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Right now, as a church, we're reading through 1 Chronicles as a part of our 3-year church-wide Bible reading project. We call that project Immerse. Here's what I've found so far as I've been reading 1 Chronicles with the thought of prayer in mind. I've found 9 different instances where prayer is mentioned. And sometimes the exact words of the prayer aren't mentioned. It's just the thought that someone did indeed pray. But these instances that are underscored and highlighted, well, here we're told the exact words that made up the prayer. Most of the time it's either King David or the Levites who are leading worship. Those are the people that's recorded as praying in 1 Chronicles. But there are others, such as an individual by the name of Jabez. And also here in the course of a battle, it's not going well for the tribes of Reuben and Gad and the east tribe of Manasseh, but they cry out for God to help, and God answers their prayers. As you read through 1 Chronicles, pay attention to where prayer is mentioned and what's going on that prompts those prayers and what flows out from those prayers. For a moment here, at least in this video, let's focus on the instances where prayer is mentioned and the words are described. Those instances form some pairings, 3 pairings of thought. The prayer of Jabez and the prayer of David. The first and the last mention of prayer in 1 Chronicles. Both of these revolve around God and blessing. Jabez asks God to bless him, and God does. And here in chapter 29, David blesses God's name. What does that mean? Well, think praise to the second power. Blessing is far richer and deeper. It covers a lot more real estate than praising God. There's some homework for you. What is blessing all about? Well, the second pairing of prayer, of specific words of prayer mentioned in 1 Chronicles, deals with David. Here in chapter 14, he's requesting guidance from God. He needs direction. In effect, he's asking God, what do I do? And here in chapter 21, it's quite the opposite. He's confessing his sin. He realizes he has let God down. And so in effect, he's saying, what have I done? In the third and final pairing of worded prayer that's mentioned in 1 Chronicles, we see a prayer by the Levites leading people in praise to God. They're celebrating the fact that the Ark of the Covenant has now arrived in Jerusalem. It's a time to shout for joy. In the very next chapter, we see the flip side of that. David learns from the Lord that he will not be the one to build the temple to house the Ark of the Covenant. That will be the work for his son. David won't live to see it. David submits to God's will in this. He resigns himself to God's will, and this is his prayer. You see how that these pairings feed and inform each other, celebration and submission. What do I do? And Lord, what have I done? Blessing God, and God blessing you. This chiastic structure, this use of chiasm in 1 Chronicles is common. Perhaps chiasm is found more in 1 Chronicles than any other book of the Bible. It's significant then that I think that the worded prayers in 1 Chronicles follow this same structure. It gives emphasis to the theme. I'd encourage you that as you read 1 Chronicles, you watch for those instances where prayer is mentioned. Pay attention to who's praying it, what's going on in their life. Ask yourself, what would you pray if you were in their shoes? Your idea, your understanding of what prayer is all about will grow as you focus on this theme of the chronicler. Grace and peace be with us all.